I'm Bard. In this video, I use modern AI tool to bring historic painting and engraving to life.
Ancient Rome, during its imperial peak, was the heart of a vast empire stretching from Britain to the Middle East, home to over 1 million people in the city alone and tens of millions across its territories. This era, known as the Pax Romana, spanned roughly from 27 BC to 180 AD, a time of relative peace, unprecedented prosperity, and architectural grandeur under emperors like Augustus, Trajan, and Hadrian. Yet beneath the marble splendor lay stark contrasts. Engineering marvels coexisted with crowded slums, public spectacles masked social inequalities, and imperial power relied on conquest and slavery. Today, advanced AI technology allows us to transform ancient engravings, mosaics, and archaeological descriptions into photorealistic recreations, bringing the eternal city back to life. Join us as we step into Rome our ancestors knew at the height of its glory. This is a breathtaking aerial view of the Roman Forum in the 2nd century AD, the political, commercial, and religious epicenter of the empire. You're gazing upon the valley between the Palatine and Capitoline hills, where Romulus and Remus were said to have been raised by a she-wolf. Dominating the scene to the right is the Temple of Saturn, rebuilt in 42 BC, its 8 towering columns guarding the state treasury. Just beyond, the Arch of Septimius Severus commemorates military victories with intricate carvings of battles and triumphs. The Forum buzzed with life. Senators in purple-striped togas debated laws in the Curia. Merchants haggled over silks from China, spices from India, and amphoras of Spanish wine.
Accept this offering, great gods. Receive this life for the prosperity of Rome.
Priests performed blood sacrifices at temple altars, smoke rising toward the gods. Notice the Basilica Julia on the left, a massive hall for legal proceedings, completed by Augustus in 12 AD. Inside, lawyers argued inheritance disputes, while crowds cheered or jeered verdicts. This space symbolized Roman order, yet it was often chaotic. The smell of incense mixed with roasting meat from street vendors. Toga-clad citizens mingled with chained slaves, foreign diplomats, and beggars. The Pax Romana enabled such hubs to thrive, fostering trade that enriched the elite, while many plebeians lived in poverty just beyond these marble columns. Next, we arrive at the Colosseum, or Flavian Amphitheatre, completed in 80 AD under Emperor Titus. This colossal structure rises 4 stories high, with a capacity for 50,000 to 80,000 spectators. It was built on the site of Nero's opulent palace lake as a gift to the people, funded by spoils from the Jewish revolt. Imagine the roar of the crowd as gladiators clashed below in mortal combat. Exotic animals from Africa, lions, leopards, even rhinoceroses paraded in venationes, staged hunts that could feature hundreds of beasts slaughtered in a single day. The exterior's travertine facade features 80 arched entrances, allowing efficient entry and exit. Each archway was numbered, directing spectators to their seats by social class, senators in front, slaves and women in wooden seats high above. Underground, a network of tunnels and elevators, the hypogeum, hoisted fighters and scenery through trapdoors. Stagehands operated pulleys and ramps, creating theatrical surprises, sudden appearances of wild animals, or flooding the arena for mock naval battles. Yet for all its grandeur, the Colosseum represented brutality. Gladiators, often slaves or prisoners of war, fought to the death for crowd entertainment. Emperors like Trajan staged spectacles lasting over 100 days, with thousands killed. The blood-soaked sand was raked and replaced between bouts, while vendors sold wine and pastries to cheering spectators. Today, its weathered ruins stand as a testament to Rome's enduring legacy and the dark price of imperial glory.
This is the Pantheon, rebuilt by Emperor Hadrian around 126 AD, one of the best preserved ancient buildings, thanks to its conversion into a Christian church centuries later. You're looking at the massive domed rotunda, 43 meters in diameter, the largest unreinforced concrete dome ever built, even by today's standards. At the top, the oculus, a 9-meter-wide opening, lets in light and rain. Water drains through subtle floor holes, a marvel of Roman engineering. The portico's 16 granite columns, each 12 meters tall, were quarried in Egypt and transported via the Nile and Mediterranean, a logistical feat showcasing Rome's global reach. The bronze doors, original to Hadrian's time, weigh 20 tons, yet swing smoothly on ancient hinges. Inside, niches once held statues of gods like Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. Dedicated to all gods, the Pantheon embodied the Pax Romana's religious tolerance. Greek, Etruscan, and Eastern deities coexisted under Rome's vast spiritual umbrella. Daily life here involved pilgrims offering sacrifices, priests in white togas slaughtering oxen at the altar, blood pooling on marble floors. Outside, vendors crowded the portico's steps, hawking bronze amulets and scroll prayers to tourists from across the empire. The coffered ceiling, 139 recessed squares, reduced the dome's weight through mathematical precision, a secret lost for centuries after Rome's fall. Today, the Pantheon remains in use as a church, its concrete dome still defying time after 1900 years.
Behold Trajan's Column, erected in 113 AD to celebrate Emperor Trajan's victories in the Dacian Wars. This 30-meter-tall marble shaft spirals with a 190-meter frieze depicting over 2,500 figures, soldiers, engineers, barbarians, and emperors frozen in stone narrative. The column stands in Trajan's Forum, a vast complex covering 300 by 185 meters, the largest imperial forum ever built. Funded by gold seized from Dacia's mines, it featured markets with 150 shops, twin libraries, and the massive Basilica Ulpia for legal proceedings. The frieze narrates 2 military campaigns in cinematic detail, legionaries building bridges across the Danube, besieging Dacian fortresses, and parading captured treasure through Rome's streets. But it also shows quieter moments, soldiers harvesting crops to feed the army, engineers surveying terrain, medics tending wounded. This was propaganda carved in marble, celebrating Rome's military might and Trajan's genius. At the column's base, an altar. At the top, originally a bronze statue of Trajan himself, replaced by St. Peter in 1588. In daily context, forums like this were social hubs. Lawyers argued cases in covered porticos. Poets recited verses for coin. Slaves hauled goods to market stalls, selling everything from papyrus to peacock feathers. But inequalities persisted. While elites dined on imported oysters and honeyed dormice in nearby domus villas, the poor relied on the grain dole, free wheat rations, living in crumbling multi-story insulae prone to fires and collapse.
This view captures the Circus Maximus in its imperial heyday, rebuilt by emperors like Augustus and Trajan into a stadium 621 meters long and 118 meters wide, seating up to 150,000 spectators, larger than any modern sports arena. The central spina, adorned with obelisks imported from Egypt and bronze statues of gods, divided the racetrack. Chariots thundered around 7 laps, wheels splintering, horses foaming, drivers risking death for glory. 4 racing factions, reds, whites, blues and greens, inspired fanatical loyalty. Riots sometimes erupted over disputed results. Fans bet fortunes on favorite drivers, many of whom were celebrity slaves earning freedom through victories. Emperors attended from the imperial box on the Palatine Hill, using races to gauge public mood and distribute favors. If the crowd grew restless, grain was tossed from the box. Cheers meant political safety, boos danger. Daily life revolved around such spectacles. Vendors sold spiced wine, roasted nuts and bread. The air filled with dust, sweat and horse dung. Children climbed trees outside for free views. Prostitutes worked the crowds. The Pax Romana's stability allowed these events to flourish, boosting morale amid distant conquests. Yet accidents were common. Charioteers, often slaves, died crushed beneath hooves or tangled in reins. Their bodies were dragged away, races continued. Thrill and exploitation always intertwined. Here we see the Aqua Claudia aqueduct, completed in 52 AD under Emperor Claudius and restored by later emperors, one of 11 aqueducts supplying Rome with over 1 million cubic meters of fresh water daily. Stretching 69 kilometers from mountain springs in the Arno Valley, its arches soared up to 28 meters high, using concrete and stone for durability across centuries. Water flowed by gravity alone, descending just 17 meters over the entire distance through precise engineering. This water fed public fountains on every street corner, where citizens filled clay jugs for cooking and bathing. It supplied massive bath complexes like the baths of Trajan, covering 10 hectares, with gyms, libraries and heated pools maintained by hypocaust heating systems. Romans of all classes bathed daily. Entrance was free or cost a mere quadrans coin. Inside, they exercised, socialized, conducted business deals, and scrubbed off grime with olive oil and strigils. This engineering feat symbolized imperial benevolence, clean water for the masses. But contrasts were evident. While aqueducts quenched thirst, sewers like the Cloaca Maxima dumped waste directly into the Tiber River, causing foul odors and waterborne diseases in overcrowded districts. The poor, living in upper floors of insulae, often had no running water. They hauled buckets from fountains or bought from water cellars. Meanwhile, elite villas featured private baths with heated floors and frescoed walls. Clean water unequally distributed. Ancient Rome's imperial peak forged a legacy that echoes through millennia. Roads spanning 80,000 kilometers connected 3 continents. Laws codified in the 12 tables influenced modern legal systems worldwide. Concrete, arches and domes revolutionized architecture. But this glory was built on conquest and inequality. The Pax Romana's stability allowed culture to bloom, yet it sowed seeds of overextension, corruption, inflation, endless wars draining the treasury. By 180 AD, the death of Marcus Aurelius ended the era of the 5 good emperors. Rome would stagger on for centuries, but the peak had passed. History has left us thousands of engravings, weathered mosaics, and fragments waiting to be revived. So tell us in the comments, which ancient city or era would you like to see reconstructed next? Athens in the age of Pericles, Alexandria under the Ptolemies, Constantinople at its Byzantine height. Hit like and subscribe for more journeys through time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the past.